Hello. Well, we have a fairly quick video. I've been wanting to do it, but I haven't had the time. But now I have the time, and sadly I have to spend it doing other things. But I ran across something. A very important modification that you should be making to any of these cars, from 81 to 90, of course. We're talking EXPs or Escorts or Lynxes or LN7s, is the mouse proofing, the concept of mouse proofing your car. There's a few places in your car where mice can get into it. For the most part, it's body plugs or body access plugs, whatever you want to call them. But down here, the oval-shaped plug. There's a number of these around the shell of the car, and they're all inside the interior. You can see that one's pulled up some. That. They're access plugs for some reason, I imagine for them to mount these on robots maybe, or the treadmill that these go down for the assembly line, conveyor belt I should say. Those over time do separate, come unplugged, and then underneath the carpet they slide around. So then you have a exposed hole in the car. Mice love to come up the ones in the rear because underneath the spare tire, there's usually nothing, keeping those holes shut. Like up front, there's carpet, usually pressed up against the hole. So sure, there's a hole, but it's constantly covered. It's like the hole of this arm right here. If my hand's carpet, it's always going to keep that shut. But in the spare tire well, there's no guarantee that the tire is going to adequately cover those holes. So a lot of times, when you go into the spare tires of these cars or other cars, your own car, you pull up the rear carpet and you start digging around, whole lot of mouse nests. It's kind of typical. You can see this one, it's already been like that. There's two oval ones in here. That's kind of the main place where they come in, they make a nest. But usually they don't go through the rest of the car unless your rear carpet is already lifted in that section of the car. But if it's lifted, boy, they're going to be in the whole rest of your interior. We're talking headliner, under the rest of the carpet, and maybe even in door cards, behind interior panels in the rear, and then all the way up front. The second most common place where they end up going is the HVAC box. So all of this here, and you're asking, well, how the heck does that happen? Well, keep in mind, this is what is exposed to the atmosphere. Sure, they do have normally a plastic cover on it, but that's only to keep water out of it. So it's fully suspended, that way you can get as much air going through here as possible. But on the downside is, mice have no problem getting down in there, and then they make a big old nest inside your HVAC box, right up against your fan motor, and then your heater core. If you have an AC car, they usually get to the AC core before they reach the heater core. So it's very rare they actually pass the AC core, but they will always get plugged up at one of those two cores, and it'll make it so that when you turn the car on, turn the fan does a whole lot of nothing. So the modification you need to be doing to prevent that is get some wire mesh, wrap around the ports of your car. If you have a factory AC car, you're only going to have the one oval on the passenger side. If you have dealer AC or no AC at all, you're going to have a smaller round port here and then a larger oval port over there. And all you need is some metal wire mesh. It can't be plastic. They like to chew on it. That's the same thing with the band clamp that goes around it. It needs to be a metal band clamp. If you're going to use a large plastic zip tie, there's a chance they knot at it, or the zip tie over time fails, the teeth pulls apart, goes loose, goes haywire. But those are the immediate places you need to check.